Yeah, so I saw Oppenheimer. I would do an intro like I usually do, however, I don't even know what song I would use. Yeah, it was kind of heavy, so I'm just gonna get right into it. To begin with, this movie is really good. I'm sure you have all heard great things, and yes, they are correct. There was a certain feeling that this movie gives you, and well, it's quite unique. I want to chalk this up to a number of things which I'll go through throughout this video, but I want to start with Christopher Nolan's direction. Christopher Nolan is known for his over-the-top and quite loud style, and I personally think that works really well for this story, especially this story. I mean, turning what is essentially a history documentary into a tense and gripping 3-hour drama is not something easily done. I mean, when watching this movie, it was like I was sucked in. If you don't know, a lot of this movie is just conversations in various rooms and locations, but it somehow feels so claustrophobic, almost as if you were in the room with these characters. I'll be real, I watched this movie with a lot of friends, and while I do that normally, I always find myself looking over during certain moments or checking in to see their levels of engagement, but during this film, I found it very hard to look away. I think the reasoning for that culminates in many ways, but I'll start with the cinematography. Yeah, this movie looks really good. The way the angles are set up almost makes a majority of this movie look like an action scene, because that's what a lot of this movie feels like. Christopher Nolan, along with the help of the editing, makes 3 hours of talking seem tense. Every conversation seemed like it was life or death. The way they implied the severity of conversation and words uttered made this movie seem like a non-stop thriller, which it should be given the topic. However, it's just crazy that they pulled it off. This could have very easily been a boring rehash of a historical event, but somehow it was made into an adaptation that lives up to the severity and magnitude of the actual event. I know I mentioned this earlier, but the editing, I need to stress just how good it is. Paired with the cinematography, it has you in a chokehold the entire film, which is another strength I think this movie has the luxury of having. The pacing. For a 3-hour movie, sorry, I know I'm saying this a lot, but for a movie of this length, about this subject matter, I found the pacing and general flow of the movie pretty good. I can't really even nail any section of this movie that just slowed down, which I think is a huge accomplishment. I only had one scene where I felt like it was a little rushed, and that was when his wife confronted him about the cheating. Remember, historical documentaries, there are no spoilers, just look it up on Wikipedia or something. But other than that, I won't really say much else about the film, spoiler-wise, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I just felt like we weren't given a lot of time to understand and process his feelings surrounding the matter. I feel like that happens a lot actually in this film, which I want to say maybe is intentional just because of the nature of the Manhattan Project, you know, the deadlines. I would like to think that Christopher Nolan would convey that in the sense that none of the characters really have time to process what is happening and what they're doing. Well, at least I hope so. I will say, when the movie does slow down to let you process the implications of this movie, it hits, and is easily the best part of the movie. I've never gotten goosebumps so severe as I did during his speech. Just thinking about it while I was writing the script gave me goosebumps. That was a powerful scene, and I think there are a lot of powerful scenes when the movie slows down for those moments, which goes again to the pacing. Everything seems to build on each other, so when it is time for those larger than life moments or those make or break conversations, you are on the edge of your seat. This movie does a great job with contrast. Just like the sound design, this movie is either extremely loud or silent. There is no in between. This carries out into the scenes as well. So much of this movie feels like it is screaming at you for its attention, then you get hit with the most introspective and quiet moment directly after. I love that about this film, and what's better to complement amazingly crafted scenes than with a fantastic soundtrack? Yeah, Ludwig Göransson, I hope I said that right, has really outdone himself. I mean, what is there to say? You'll like actually though, what is there to say? You really have to experience the sheer magnitude of this soundtrack for yourself. And the film knows this, because I'm not even sure if there was a single scene where they didn't play it. Thinking back, even the slower, more quiet scenes had some sort of noise in them. Look, I'm a huge nerd for a lot of things, but just using the crackle of the Geiger counters, it's the thing that measures radiation, and integrating that into the soundtrack is so freaking genius, man. I love it. There are just so many cool sounds to pair with some of these absolutely insane visuals that there really isn't anything like it. The way this movie would conceptualize certain concepts was brilliant. Brilliant. Like, should I say it a third time? Brilliant. Yeah, there are so many examples, but if you haven't seen the movie, I want you to sort of experience those for yourself, so I will hold my tongue on this one. But I've been actively thinking about it, the way these ideas were conveyed, which is something I rarely see a movie make me do. Honestly, a lot of this movie will make you think, which is a fantastic thing, and I believe the best works will force you into some sort of dilemma or introspection. And I haven't even talked about how amazing the performances are or the star-studded cast, because, you know, that's a given. Just watch and see. I'll give you one warning though. I am a huge history nerd. I love history, not so much war, not really a big fan of that, but I love seeing what goes on behind the scenes, like the political concepts and overlap into other fields like science. So this movie was right up my alley, and I partially knew some of the information before, and I kind of got heightened satisfaction from knowing it. With all that being said, I did still feel like there were parts of this movie where I was playing catch up. There's just so much information thrown at you that it can become easy to feel like you're falling behind. So that's normal, don't worry. As long as you understand what the general gist of the movie is trying to say, I think you'll come out as the director intended. Honestly, yeah, heavy stuff, heavy movie, gripping, monumental, introspective, draining even. These are all fantastic words to describe this movie. It's a movie that will stick with you. It's a movie that you'll think about. Honestly, not even sure how I'll rate it. I have so many conflicting feelings. I think it's a fantastic movie. It made me think, but did I enjoy it? I don't know. I think I did. Was I even supposed to enjoy it? I feel like it's marked more as an experience to make you think rather than to be enjoyed. Will I ever watch it again? Also not sure. So for now, it's an amazing movie and an experience I won't forget. So I'll give Oppenheimer a 8.5 out of 10. So yeah, that's the video. Sorry for the lack of music and edits. Kind of difficult with the subject matter. Also, sorry if my voice sounds kind of weird. I'm like semi-sick. I really don't know what I have. It's kind of weird. Anyway, stay awesome. TooAwesome. Thanks for watching.